Hey, welcome back to another video on the channel, guys. My name is Jeff and we are back behind the glass, and today I'm going to be talking about this bad boy right here. This absolute marvelous piece of technology that I love and adore, and I would protect these things for my life. These are really honestly the best hang-on back filters on the market. No bars held. I do not care what anybody says to me. I will always be loyal to these filters because they are so nice, so reliable, and they're just everything I love about filters in general, honestly. So I'm just gonna kind of be talking about the different things that I really like about these filters, why you should get one, and more importantly, how they go about keeping your tank healthier than traditional hang-on back filters, and why you should use these over canister filters for most smaller tanks. So let's get started. So probably the most important thing that I like about these things is that they are the convenience of a hang-on back filter with the functionality of a canister filter. Now, not too many hang-on back filters actually use this kind of technology, and it's really actually so freaking nice that they use this type of technology from canister filters, because normally canister filters are the prime go-to filters for fish keeping in general. That's why you see so many advanced fish keepers be such a huge advocate for like Fluval FX4 and FX6 filters. They're also highly customizable. You can take out the carbon filters in those and put in more sponge filters, they're just so customizable. And part of that customizable process for canister filters is also applicable to these filters as well. And also, because these filters are hang-on back filters, you don't need to, say for example, you don't need to like unplug hoses or move the canister filter or pop it open in order to access all the filtration. All the filtration is immediately accessible and very easy to change and clean and maintain. So anyways, let's deep dive into these things and what exactly makes them tick. So one of the first things that you notice when you actually buy these things is that these things have a lot of parts compared to most hang-on back filters. Firstly, there's the tube, which the tube actually comes with two different segments that you can dip into the water. You can double connect these segments for additional reach into the tank if you like. Not necessary, but it does help when you're doing water changes. Next, you're gonna notice that there's not really any way to remove the propeller blade from inside the filter. This is actually intentional and highly useful even, because the propeller blade itself is guarded by the filter itself. So most filters, what you'll end up seeing, actually, let me go ahead and grab something really quick. Alright, so with this filter right here, this is one of my old filters that I replaced using this. With these kind of filters, traditionally, the propeller blade is directly attached onto the tube. Now, that's not the case with AquaClears. So with AquaClears, the blade is actually protected securely inside of the filter itself. So every time you take the tube out, you don't have to bother with like using a Q-tip to actually clean the filter, and it just overall makes the cleaning process a little bit easier and more carefree. Another kind of cool thing about these filters is that you can actually adjust the flow rate using the little it's sort of like a little thing that you can shift from side to side. So if you have it completely facing straight forward, it's going to have maximum flow rate, but if you move it all the way to the right, it'll have a 50% flow rate. Now, this doesn't just affect the actual flow rate, but when you have a lower flow, it actually creates a system within the filter itself where the water has more time to actually flow through the filtration system. So with some tanks, it may actually be more beneficial to have a lower flow rate, so that way more water has more time to go through the filtration system, and therefore the water actually gets cleaned far more efficiently than if you were to keep a consistent high flow rate. Something I like to do is I'll turn the flow rate on high during the day, just that way we can get oxygen flowing in the water, and then I'll turn it to the far right during the night, so that way during the night a lot of the actual bacteria and water filtration that's happening during the night clean the water a little bit better. But it also makes it so that the water isn't moving as much in the tank, so that way you're not disturbing your fish, and your fish have more space to kind of settle down and sleep for the night. Now, enough about the tubing system and the propeller blade. Let's actually talk about the filtration itself. So the filtration by default comes with 3 simple things: the sponge, the carbon filter, and finally the ceramic filter. Now the sponge on the bottom is of course where a majority of your actual dirty debris gathers. It's the thing that catches the most dirt. It's where the water first goes through to actually catch any like dirt and grime and anything that goes through the filter. Next thing that goes up is the carbon filter. You can freely replace the carbon filter with anything that you desire. You can get like a second set of ceramic rings or what have you. But the point is that the carbon filter is mostly only there to get rid of any medications that you put in, or to help filter out any ammonia or any kind of like water chemicals that you use. It's useful to have if you're starting up the tank, but it's not necessary to continue a healthy functioning ecosystem. You can fully replace that and put in more of the third thing that is in there, which is the ceramic rings or the ceramic balls, however you want to look at them. If you want to, you can buy more of the ceramic balls, and actually these are what hold most of the actual bacteria that keep your water clean. And this is also where a majority of the actual water filtration happens, is in these ceramic balls as it passes through. So essentially you have the sponge filter that catches dirt and debris, and of course houses bacteria, but not as much as the ceramic balls, which is where a majority of the ammonia and nitrite gets converted into nitrate. And then if you have the carbon filter, that's also nice for filtering out any water chemicals that you put in, but if you don't have it, that's okay. And the reason why this system is so effective is because this is effectively the same filtration system that canister filters such as marine land filters and FX4 and FX6 filters use. But the difference is that they're on the convenience of a hang-on-back filter. So with a hang-on-back filter, you don't have to move it around and take it apart and take everything out one by one by one. These come with a very, very convenient little tray that you can pull out, and it'll have all 3 layers of the things that you're using. That way you can just simply hold it over a bucket and then move it to a sink and then do your cleaning there, and then bring it back and have your filter and everything cleaned within like 2 minutes. Super easy process. I love doing it, and I think that you'll find the convenience of doing everything pretty useful as well. Finally, honestly, the flow rate on these things, when you do have the flow rate set on high, is very, very nice. I'll pop a video up here in the top left corner of what I'm talking about. Or this is the top right corner for you guys. I gotta remember that. So I'll put a video up here in the top right corner of how well the filter flows into the water. The flow rate on these things is surprisingly high. Even on the low setting, they can still flow plenty of water. And it's very, very nice for oxygenating your water. In fact, the flow rate on these things, the maximum flow, is honestly so good that a majority of the time you will not need any bubblers in order to create enough water movement to oxygenate the water enough for all the fish in your tank. It's honestly insane what these filters can do. I mean, I have no idea who invented these filters. Well, I mean, it has Fluval on the name, obviously, but I mean, like, I wonder who in the Fluval company invented these filters. I'm just so curious. I might actually do some research on it. But yeah, absolutely get these filters, guys. If you don't have these filters, buy one, give it a try. I love it. You're going to love it. Please, please trust me on this. They just make fish keeping so much easier. They keep your water cleaner. They ease the maintenance on these things easier. And they're customizable as well. You really just can't go wrong with these things. At the end of the day, that's just my personal take, but I really highly recommend, for your sanity, get one of these. I promise that you are not going to regret it. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel, give my video a like, leave a comment below of any other filters that you personally like or recommend to other fish keepers, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Have a great one.